So perfection of wisdom is emptiness. So when you perfect wisdom, which means realize that all of this is counterfeited in our world, you have the perfection of wisdom. And when you realize it is counterfeit, you drop the veil and you realize everything is empty. Everything that you did not do. So it's empty. So do everything with emptiness, no emotions, negative or positive. So when you practice the perfection of wisdom, do it with emptiness as well. Don't use, if you have fake faith, you do not know whether your faith is right or wrong. You do not know whether your patience is right or wrong. You do not know whether your purity is right or wrong. You do not know that. Whether it's negative or positive, you don't know that, because the demon's always tricking you, giving you fake bliss and happiness, giving you fake harmony and fake meditation and fake concentration. You do not know left from right. It's very hard to determine. Just practice with emptiness and you can perfect your wisdom. So you cannot be tricked by negative emotions or positive emotions. So no emotion is emptiness. So no emotion, that is no negative emotion, no positive emotion, is emptiness. So all your problems comes from emptiness. So say if you're trying to generate patience and you have like motivation for 5 weeks and then you lose motivation, that's like a mix of negative and positive. Like you started with a very positive spirit and then 5 weeks later you do not have that positive spirit anymore. So that is like a delusion. One moment you have it, the next moment you don't. So that's like an illusion. So you cannot practice with negative and positive emotion. You practice with emptiness. So you don't care about having motivation or no motivation. You just show up and you practice. You just show up and you do your effort. You put in your effort, your daily effort. You just show up and practice your meditation. Don't think that I have to practice for 20 hours to reach enlightenment. Don't think that. Just go in and learn. Just go in and practice wisdom, practice patience, practice moral conduct, practice generosity, practice effort. Practice with emptiness. So when you practice with emptiness, you're basically unhackable. So how does a human being get hacked by the demons? By the use of your negative and positive emotions. So they are going to use your negative emotions and your positive emotions in your mind and your body. And then that's how they hack you. That's how they hack your body. So they give you a lot of fear, or they give you false hope. Oh, you're going to rapture and go to heaven. You're going to meet Christ. You're going to bring in the new kingdom. So they're going to give you all this fake hope. And sometimes they're going to put a lot of fear in you. Oh, you're going to go to hell and we're going to torture you and we're going to kill you and we're going to hurt you. So they give you a lot of negative and positive fake. It's called hope and fear. So fear and hope. So in Buddhism, they say practice without hope and fear. Practice without any expectation. Don't hope for anything and don't fear anything. So have no negative and positive emotions. So the demons will hack into you with negative and positive emotions. They'll give you fake positive feelings and fake fear. They'll put a lot of fear in your system, and they will try to make you step away from your path. Like if you're giving disclosure, if you're learning, if you're rapidly evolving in your spiritual path, they'll give you a lot of fear and they'll try to discourage you from practicing the Dharma. They'll threaten you, they'll send you death threats, they'll threaten your family, like, oh, we'll kill your parents, we'll kill your siblings if you practice the Dharma, or we'll kill you, or we'll hurt your friends. They'll constantly give all these threats when you're practicing the Dharma, which I have personally received. But they are putting a lot of fear and negativity in your path to accomplishing your Dharma. And sometimes they can also give you positive, such as like, come work for us and sign a book deal with us, or be a model for us, and we'll make you famous, we'll give you glory, we'll give you richness, and we'll give you millions and money. So they'll give you this positive, they'll try and buy you through this positive emotion. So the demons can hack you with negative and positive emotions in your body. But when you practice with emptiness, with no emotions, all your problems will go away. Because even if they hurt you, you don't care. And even if they want to give you riches, you don't care. You practice with emptiness. You practice with no emotions. All problems stem from emotions. So all your problems stems from emotions. So if you are afraid when the demons threaten you and you get really afraid, then you will stop practicing your dharma, or the demons will be like, do you want to be a great actor? And then you'll be like, yes. And then you will lose your path to your dharma and you go to Bollywood or Hollywood. And then later they'll just like torture you, kill you, and eat you. So you cannot listen to anything that the demons say. You cannot trust anything that the demons say. So they will use emotions to affect you, negative and positive to affect you. So practice with emptiness. That's how you can perfect wisdom. And if you practice with emptiness, emptiness is the authenticator. The emptiness will authenticate if that is real or not. So if you're practicing with emptiness, even like when Father and Christ assesses you, they will assess you in your emptiness. So if you want like power, and if you're looking for money, and if you're looking for greater knowledge, and if you want to be like powerful and this and that, and influence and have fame, you're not practicing with emptiness. So even you will be authenticated depending on your emptiness, because like you could be showing faith, you could be showing love to Christ and faith to Christ, and you could be reading the scriptures, but deep down you could have ulterior motives. So the only way to authenticate even a human being on the spiritual journey is if they can practice emptiness. Can you do it without receiving the kingdom? Can you do it without receiving any love? Can you do it without receiving any money? Can you do it just for the dharma? Can you do it just for the purification? Can you do it? Will you do it just for Christ? Will you do it just for Father? So Father and Christ is going to authenticate you within your emptiness. Are you going to practice with emptiness? Are you going to practice with no negative and positive emotions? Are you not going to be led astray? Are you not going to, or are you going to expect something from Christ and Father? Emptiness is the highest mental state. It's basically enlightenment if you can understand emptiness and get to that point. But it's basically, to me, if directly, it means no emotions. Emptiness equals no emotions, negative or positive. Because we are taught about positive emotions in this world. We are saying, oh, get rid of negative, think positive, think positive, think positive. But the positive is totally hacked. Faith is hacked, truth is gone, innocence is gone, purity doesn't exist, love is fake, harmony is your fake activism, understanding doesn't exist. No one understands anything. No one's simple. If you're simple, then you're probably homeless. It's like that. So if you're cheerful, then you're probably on drugs and or alcohol. It's everything is gone, or the only unhacked virgin, basically, in this existence of negative and positive and think positive world that we live in. It's all fake. So the only unhacked one for our reality on this earth during the end times is emptiness. And that's why you want to practice with emptiness, because it is unhacked and it cannot be hacked. It cannot be manipulated with negative or positive emotion. Emptiness is empty. You cannot fill it or you cannot make it empty. It's just how it is. So you cannot buy it and you cannot sell it, because it cannot be bought and you cannot sell it. So emptiness is what you practice with. Emptiness is unhackable. It doesn't have any negative or positive emotion. It doesn't need anything. It doesn't need negativity, and it doesn't need positivity. It doesn't need rewards. It doesn't need award. It doesn't need fame. It doesn't need anything. It just practices the 6 paramitas with emptiness, realizes wisdom, unveils this reality, raptures and goes to heaven, and maintains the dharma in this world and universe eternally. That's what emptiness does. Emptiness doesn't look for money and fame and power. Emptiness practices everything with emptiness. With emptiness is the only unhacked system, only unhacked virgin in this reality in the end times, where everything, all of this is totally corrupted, flipped upside down, inside out. That's what's happened to all of these virgin qualities. But emptiness, it remains empty. It is unhacked. It is pure. It is because it is empty and it cannot be hacked. It cannot be bought and sold. It cannot be influenced by negative and positive. And that's why you want to practice with emptiness. You will be assessed for your emptiness, that you expect nothing in return. And you will practice emptiness because you cannot be hacked by the demonic forces with their negative and positive emotions that they will channel into your brain and arise various negative and positive emotions in your brain and in your body and in your heart. They have that telepathic ability to do that, arise negative and positive emotions in you and think in your thoughts, think in your words, and make you feel like, oh, I really like that white t-shirt, I'm going to get it. But actually it's the demon saying that in your head, and you go in and you buy that white t-shirt. But you didn't think that. The demons thought that in your head. But when you do not care about a white t-shirt, when you don't care about consumerism, fashion, you just use what you use, you have what you have, you don't care about appearances, that means you're unhacked. You don't care about the ways of this world. And that means they cannot influence you because you are not easily corrupted and not easily influenced and easily hacked. And that's what this is about. So you want to practice with emptiness because emptiness is no emotions, negative or positive. Emptiness is the only thing that is unhacked in our world. Emptiness is the only thing that is unhacked in our world. It is not influenced by negativity, fear, or positivity, hope. And you can get to emptiness by practicing the 6 paramitas and building your foundation to attain the wisdom, learning all the disclosure, unveiling this reality. And then you are able to authenticate everything, not just these virgin qualities, but everything in your entire life you will be able to authenticate. And it's the most important thing you will do. And that's why the virgin prajna paramita with the perfection of wisdom and emptiness is used during the Great Tribulation, because all of this has been flipped upside down. It's totally counterfeited. And you cannot tell the difference between the real faith and the counterfeit faith. It's basically the same. It's like you can't tell the difference between a GMO apple and a real apple. It looks the same. There is no difference. It tastes the same. And you eat it, you feel the same. It still gives you nutrition. It still gives you survival. But it is still a GMO apple. You cannot tell a difference between a clone human being and a real human being. It looks the same, it sounds the same. You cannot tell the difference between clone meat and real meat when you eat chicken. If you're eating clone chicken or real chicken, there's no difference. It's like that. It's very hard to discern the truth of what we are consuming, who we are interacting with, whether it's a real person or a clone, whether we're eating real food or we're eating GMO or clone meats. We do not know. We are eating clone eggs. We do not know that. Because food doesn't taste the way it tastes really bland, so it could be cloned. It's very hard to determine all of those things, but you can determine and authenticate all of that through learning your 6 paramitas and really going through the disclosure and learning the truth of this world. And you use these qualities to learn. So you need to put in a lot of effort, focus. You need to have discipline. You need patience. You need wisdom. You need to be generous with your learning. And you need to do all of that in order to perfect wisdom. And when you drop the veil, as a result of perfecting the wisdom, you drop the veil, all the veils, and you realize emptiness. You see the counterfeit world. So you are living in a counterfeit world, but you haven't dropped the veil and realize that this world is empty. It's a counterfeit reality. So when you drop the veil, you will see emptiness, because all of this, it's all counterfeit. It's all fake. It's not really there. It's not the real thing. And when you drop the veil and see counterfeit, you'll be like, oh, the real thing doesn't exist, so it's empty. So it's like that. So there are many things with the emptiness. It's basically unhackable, or it is the only unhacked thing, or the only unhackable thing is emptiness. It's the zero. Emptiness is called sunyata or sunya in Nepali, and it means zero. So you cannot buy and sell zero. You cannot put negative or positive emotion in zero. Zero is zero. It's not one, it's not two. You cannot subtract it, you cannot add it. So it's not like negative is minus, positive is subtraction. So you cannot add or subtract from zero. Zero is zero. So it's like that. So you have to get to your point of own emptiness and your own zero. And how do you get to that emptiness? Through perfection of wisdom, through the disclosure work that we have done and all the testimony that we have given. You get to emptiness through prajna paramitas, 6 paramitas, practicing the 6 paramitas and unveiling this reality. You get to zero, and through the zero you see this world is empty, and then you can practice with emptiness. So you cannot add to zero, and you cannot subtract from zero. So zero is unhackable. It cannot be hacked. So it cannot be hacked by negative emotions and positive emotions. They cannot buy you with a book deal or a celebrity deal, or they cannot intimidate you and make you afraid to practice the dharma, because it's the mafia. The elites are the mafia that is running the world. They are extremely evil mafia with a lot of power and crazy technology. But you practice with no fear and no hope. That's the Buddhism system. And all problems stems from emotions. So all your problems that you cannot do, all the obstacles that you have comes from emotions. You're either afraid, or you're busy pursuing your happy, positive, fake life. Or you are afraid and you're tired, or you're sick, or you're angry, or you're hateful, or you're dumb and you're stupid and you're wasting your time, you're on drugs or alcohol. So all of your problems comes from emotion. So get rid of these two, negative and positive. Get to your zero, emptiness, and practice dharma with emptiness, or get to emptiness, and also practice with emptiness. So when you learn everything, and when you learn the Holy Scriptures, when you learn disclosure, practice with emptiness, because your negative and positive will be tested throughout your journey of learning through the 6 paramitas. Every aspect of you will be tested. So your moral conduct, your patience, your effort, your focus, your generosity, your wisdom, all of those will be tested while you are on your awakening journey. So make sure you practice with emptiness so that you do not have to constantly correct yourself. That is, don't use any negative or positive emotion. Just learn and just be yourself and pursue the dharma. And when you're ready, Christ will approve you and let you through the gate. So this is a beautiful decode, and you have to understand the Holy Spirit Virgin Dakini that way. So Dakini is basically a virgin in Buddhism, and Prajna Paramita is also known as the Dakini. There are other 5 wisdom Dakinis that represent the 5 directions. So you can go and research Dakini and learn about Dakini. And Prajna Paramita is also a Dakini. So practice with emptiness, and Prajna Paramita is supreme, the mother of all the Buddhas, for a reason, because it is unhacked. And how do the Buddhas achieve enlightenment? By this unhacked process of emptiness, by getting rid of negative and positive emotions.